What is going on, guys? So today we got an exciting video, and although this is kind of a pain, we are bringing the Cobra back up on the dyno. Instead of going all the way to Georgia for Kurgan Motorsports, we're actually going to be doing a remote tune session. The reason why is because the mass airflow sensor, the two ones that I've tried to replace in this, they tend to run a little inconsistent. And the tune is based off the old one. In the old broken melted one, the car idles fine, but clearly something's wrong in the board there that when I go full throttle, it breaks up. Now, what I want to do before I go to the dyno, because anytime you go to the dyno, if there's some sort of issue, you check the spark plugs. I've had these spark plugs in the car for 10,000 miles, which on a high boost application, that's a good amount of miles on it. So I'm going to throw a brand new set of NGK TR6 plugs in this. I also have this extra air filter, nice and clean, from John, and I'm going to throw that on the car as well. Basically, we're going to get this thing prepped, ready to go. And the reason why we're rushing to do this today is because Sunday we're trying to go to the track with the Cobra. Hopefully everything irons out with this thing today and there aren't any other issues, but that's, you know, that's what we'll see. Ashley's car needs to get an oil change today in order to be ready for Sunday, and I need to put the drag set on there. I'm really excited to get this thing on the dyno again, because it's always a good time when it's on the dyno, I think, sort of, as long as everything goes okay. So yeah, let's go ahead, jump in, do some spark plugs. I'm gonna warm this thing up just slightly after I take the coil covers off, just to basically get it, you know, warmed up, so the spark plugs come out nice and easy.
Alright, so I have the old broken melted MAF, but the car does run okay on it. Just, you know, regular driving. We're going to start the car up, get it a little warm, just because I don't have 9-thread heads, and these heads are known for being a little difficult with spark plugs. So I want to avoid having issues. Therefore, I'm just going to start up, get a little heat, make it a little bit easier to get spark plugs out. I always use anti-seize on these anyways, so we shouldn't really have an issue, but typically it's a good idea to do that. Starts up, it's a little loud. It starts up perfectly fine with that broken map. Alright, so I got all the plugs. They're NGK TR6, they're gapped at 28 thousandths. We're going to go ahead and tear this apart and get the plugs out. Alright, so I just pulled this side coil cover and the coils out. A good sign is all the ends of the coils are dry. Therefore, it means that the gasket did not break. That is a very common issue with the 4 valves. So the donuts are still good on the car. I always like to check that whenever I'm doing a plug change. Alright, so I just got all of the spark plugs out. They overall look pretty good in terms of color. I do notice that some of them have varying gaps, so it looks like some of them opened up, which does tend to happen over time. That's why it's a good idea to change your spark plugs often in a higher horsepower application like this car. I also found that there wasn't any other oil in any of the cylinders, so we're pretty much good to go ahead and put this back together. While I have everything off, I'm going to clean this side of the valve cover, just because around that PCV area it does tend to get a lot of oil buildup. Alright, now that I have applied the anti-seize to the plugs and they're all gapped at 28 thousandths, we're going to go ahead and put these back in the car. I'm going to clean it up a little bit and we should be good to go in terms of being ready to dyno tune the car.
Alright guys, so I just went ahead and put the spark plugs, coil covers back on. I cleaned up the engine bay quite a bit, and I was doing the air filter change, but I was going to steal John's spare one that he has here. Turns out that one is nowhere near the size of my current filter, so I'm just doing a K&N cleaning on it. I have the air filter outside drying, and I'm gonna go bring Ashley's car over to an oil change. And yes, for all those people that say, why do you bring the car to get an oil change? One, we did it for a while because it was free. Now it is not free because our car has a lot of miles. Two, I don't have a lot of time. Three, I don't like making messes in my own garage, because no matter how well you do on your back, taking that oil filter off, it leaks everywhere. I don't like making a mess. Three or four, I know who's doing the oil change change over there at Ford. So I don't mind paying to get it done because it gets it done faster. It's only $10 more than me doing it myself. I save my time getting dirty, I save my garage floor from getting dirty. I feel like I need to always go on this rant because everyone just gets so stuck up with the fact that you're bringing a car to get an oil change. I always do my own on the Cobra, but I wait until I have a lift. We literally have to get this car oil change done because we're going to the track Sunday, and I don't like tracking the car with a good amount of miles on the oil.
So as you can see, the Cobra is back together. Besides the air filter, and we obviously have our broken mass airflow sensor. This is John's, but that one doesn't fit. So I just have mine outside drying. So I'm gonna run over, drop this thing off, or I guess I'm gonna stay there while, you know, they do some stuff. And yeah, let's roll out.
Alright, so we just got the oil change on Ashley's Coyote. I'm gonna head over to class, and then I'm gonna go grab the Cobra, go over to the dyno, and we're gonna get this thing tuned. I'm so excited to get it up on the dyno again, so let's go do it. Alright, we just got back from class. I gotta throw the air filter and intake on the car and then head over to the dyno, so I'm gonna do that real fast.
Alright, intake's on. We should be good to go. I'm gonna give it a start. Should idle perfectly fine, just obviously wide open throttle still not okay. So the guys over at Mastiff got me a SET BA 2600. This is what I'm going to be using to tune the Cobra. This is what Bob prefers to tune these cars with over the VMP 3000.
So we're over here at Mastiff Performance. He's got the SET BA 2600 installed. We're just waiting for Bob to get over here on TeamViewer because he's doing the remote tuning. Bob of Kurgan Motorsports. He said this is a real simple setup to tune, so we should be pretty easy to get going.
This is the new mass airflow sensor housing. I also have an intercooler pump relay going just to make sure this thing's cooled down, and we should be ready to go in a few seconds. We have Bob controlling the computer over here. He just wrote a tune, and then we're going to get the car going. Alright, we're loading the first tune. Alright, got a logging data here for Bob. Alright, we're just loading our second tune file here. The first one was just to dial in the math and injectors. $590, $561. How'd AFR look? 11.7-ish? Alright, we're loading the last file into the car. This should be good to go. we got 605, 569 torque, SAE, set at smoothing 1, in case anyone wants to complain. But that's the same exact power it made before. It made 570 torque before, which is the same thing in 605. So we're all pretty much good to go. Bob said he's gonna make one more adjustment, add a little bit more fuel. So my X-Pipe, the O2 sensor is stripped out, so George here just went ahead and he's just gonna weld the hole shut, just so that we don't have a leak. Big shout out to the guys at Mastiff for doing that. Alright, so the Cobra is now dyno tuned. Huge thanks to Bob Kurgan and Mastiff over here. We just rented the dyno out here and basically used that to tune the car with Bob remote tuning. If you want to get your car tuned by Bob, you can just give him a call and he will be able to do the same exact service for you. So just give him a call down below or a description website. We are over at Mastiff. They are in Debary, Florida, which is very close to me. That's why it's convenient to come over here to go on the dyno. Now we're gonna put Ashley's car on the dyno to see what it's gonna make, which is super cool because it's the same day, same dyno, same comparison. Derek's over here making things behind my back. But we're gonna see what Ashley's car with the Whipple 2.9 liter supercharger puts down. It's revving to 7,500 RPM. It's the stage 2 kit. Same dyno, same day. Cobra made 605. We're gonna see what this does. First time we put Ashley's car on the dyno with the Whipple. It is on the Whipple tune on 93 Octane, so we're gonna see what it puts down. All right, we're getting it strapped down here. This should be interesting. Let's see what it puts down. What do we got?
631.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
50 wheel more.
Yeah.
Alright, so we just made the first pull. We're gonna make a second pull, see if it makes any more. Then we pretty much should be good to go with that.
Wow, that is consistent.
I'll tell you what, that's the number.
That's the number.
That's it.
Alright, so there you have it. Second pull was 631 as well. I don't think it's going to get any more than that without doing anything to the car. That is a great baseline. Obviously, it's less than what I initially expected. The car does pull on the Cobra, even though the power to weight ratio is you know, a little bit different. But that's really good numbers, and when we tune the car later, we'll obviously go up from there. So That's a really good baseline for the Whipple bass tune, basically. So now we're gonna take the car off the dyno. Huge shout out to George and Stephanie for hanging out here, putting both cars on the dyno. It's really cool to see same day, same dyno, same conditions, putting the two cars on back to back. Ashley's car makes about 30 more wheel horsepower. Obviously, she has a lot more room for growth with just a simple tune, while my car needs fuel system, long tubes, E85 to make more power. So yeah, we're gonna get the car off the dyno and see what's going on later.
Alright, so we're gonna roll out of here. This is Mastiff Performance. If you guys ever need to go on the dyno, they have dyno days here and stuff. So really awesome. Yeah, we're gonna roll out.
It spins a lot, but it's good. Let it rip. Alright, so we just made it back from some Mexico festivities. Derek here was recording on the flyby that you're going to see right here from the dash cam, which is our backup source of camera. Not quite as good. He was filming with his phone, but he wasn't. He was holding it there, and I did a nasty flyby in the Cobra.
I recorded my feet.
That was pretty nasty, because I was spinning first. I was like, pa, pa, pa. Second, third. Oh man, that's fun. Yeah. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video today. A lot of fun stuff. We got the Cobra retuned. Ashley's car went up on the dyno. We got a apples to apples comparison of the power between these two. So we are going to be going to the track very, very soon. So look forward to that video. Huge shout out to Bob Kurgan of Kurgan Motorsports. If you need your car tuned, especially Cobras, he is very, very good with Cobras 4.6. He also does 5-liter twin turbo stuff. I mean, they do it all. So if you need parts, installs, they do cams for the Cobra. Wink, wink. Eventually, I do want to do cams. Maybe. Don't get too excited. Long tubes, all the other stuff has to be done for first, fuel system. But eventually. So if you guys want to check that out, Kurgan Motorsports down in the description. And big thanks to Massive Performance. They actually stayed a little bit later. One, so that we could finish off the Cobra, and two, so that we could actually put Ashley's car on the dyno. So if you guys are in the area looking for a dyno, looking for a shop, they do a lot of cool stuff around here, and they have a dyno that we basically rented. So anyway guys, make sure you slap that like button down below, leave a comment, let us know what you think. And for anyone, you know, kind of saying like, a little disappointed about the Whipple, I mean, it can only get better from here. So add a tune, make some more power.